Excuse me. What in the world are you thinking?
Mean Gene, the first thing you need to do is to tell these people to shut up if you want to hear what I gotta say.
What up, y'all? KMB, the Sexy Ninja, in the place to be for C Plus Studios, and this is the New World Podcast, brother. Nothing like some angry snow shoveling to start my day for the third or fifth time in a row to dig my car out just because I have to go to work tonight. We got a huge snowstorm here in Flagstaff. It's high. I realized after shoveling it for this bitch for the fifth time, I was like, fuck. But I put that anger and rage, brother, yeah, waffle, 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 to the snow and took it to town and pinned it 1, 2, 3. And I know tonight's going to be a doozy trying to get back. And I hope no one takes my spot after digging it out. It's happened before, and I've gone full rage, brother, and just went waffle, 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 waffle. So we're talking about Monday Night Raw in Cincinnati, Ohio, home of the Bengals. And they were catering to that town, the baby faces and everything like that. It was a good time. And I really thought that I was so jazzed because I was like, okay, cool. I can't wait for this Monday Night Raw because we're going to see the Usos versus the Judgment Day for the Raw tag team titles. But that's next week. I got my days mixed up because next week is Raw is 30. That's 30 years. That's crazy, man. But they talked about, Usos came out, they were talking their jazz, and no Sammy, which I found kind of strange, but which makes sense too, because after what happened on SmackDown, he's questioning loyalty and whatnot and where he stands in the bloodline. There's an acknowledgement ceremony next week. The bloodline, plus it goes deeper than that. Everyone's there to acknowledge Roman Reigns. And next week, I just have a feeling. So they gotta face the Raw Tag Team titles on the line that Monday. Then the Raw Tag Team titles will be on line Friday, if that's what I'm getting right. And then the Royal Rumble's on the Saturday, the 28th. I'm just like, what if this is the fall of the bloodline? What if the Judgment Day do take those titles? Take the Raw titles, then they lose the SmackDown titles that night, and then they lose. Then Roman loses to, he loses to Kevin Owens, and I was like, damn, the fall of the bloodline all in 1 week. That would be crazy going into the WrestleMania, going into the WrestleMania season. Where do we go from there? And with the family there, the bloodline family, going deep as it is, being there and being like, and I wonder if they're going to hold that ceremony towards the end, then have the Usos lose beforehand, and then Roman's pissed, because this was supposed to be a night of celebration for him and stuff like that, and how that's going to go. So next week, Raw is 30 is a big one. But Usos talking smack. The Judgment Day come out, they start talking smack, and it's just a nice setup. And then we have Mustafa Ali versus Solo. Of course, Solo wins. There was a few moments where Mustafa Ali had that moment. I don't know what we're doing with him, but he has something going on with God, what's his name? Dolph Ziggler. God, I'm so angry snow shoveling, folks. But after this, KO comes out for revenge, stunners Solo. KO has lost it. He's going crazy. He's looking strong, man. He's looking strong, and it's going to be crazy what's going down for the contract signing this Friday between him and Roman, all building up to this big main event at Royal Rumble. Had a Bobby promo out there, came on. It was there's only one Almighty for the big 6-man elimination match to determine who's going to face the U.S. champion next week on Raw is 30. So then a Cody Rhodes package, and out of there we got Cody will be back, and it is set for the Royal Rumble. He is in the Royal Rumble. So I wish that was more or less a surprise, but we got to start building the audience here to be like, yo, Cody's coming back, so that's something else to look forward to. Royal Rumble's in 2 weeks, and I'm just happy that Cody Rhodes is back We had Elias backstage with an interview, got an interaction with MVP, and MVP's like, hey, you know, you're going to face the winner of the Royal Rumble. And and it was like, who is, oh, wait, why am I kidding myself? Who is it? It's Omos. I'm like, come on, KMB. Come on, don't let this shit fool you. The Street Profits, god damn, man. I breathe. The Street Profits versus Shelton. Yeah, folks. Shelton Benjamin and Kendrick Alexander. Oh, my gosh. Great match. Street Profits won on a roll-up reverse pin. And MVP was out there. So I'm seeing the slow, like, they're rebuilding the Hurt Business. And the way the show ended, that's just how I felt coming out of this. Like, we're rebuilding the Hurt Business. And adding Omos to that faction is going to be crazy. So, you know, we will see. We will see. The Judgment Day backstage and Alpha Academy interrupts because they have a big match tonight. And, you know, just the same old interactions. But this was like, I feel like for me personally, this is the meats and potatoes of the show. One of the meats and potatoes is the man. And I love that she comes out from the crowd. And Bayley's rivalry, their hatred for one another. And I felt some shit got personal in this, you know. And it all leads up to next week when they will face each other in a steel cage match. I understand that that's a big match. Bayley versus Becky. Let's blow off this feud. But I feel like it's so personal that it should happen at the Royal Rumble. I know they need the focus on having the Women's Royal Rumble and the Men's Royal Rumble, but I feel like this is a big match and it deserves to be on the Royal Rumble card. Just my opinion. Becky was coming at Bayley with all this feistiness, man. Calling her a carrot and all this other stuff. It just felt personal. And I have to say, it's been a minute since we've had this kind of rivalry to be this personal. You know, getting in each other's faces. And, you know, this is going to be a match next week in a steel cage. It's going to be awesome, you know. So we shall see Becky versus Bayley. Dolph backstage getting ready for the big main event. Mustafa Ali comes in, interrupts him. He's like, yeah, you always get everything, blah, 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 blah. And he hits Dolph, and Dolph's like, ah. And I'm like, okay. Elias then comes out, and guess who it is? Omos is back, and he has some cool, like, I love that hoodie thing. He got the Omega symbols saying Omos, and I was like, damn, dog, that's just dope. Of course, Omos wins, you know. Adam Pearce backstage, Tozawa interrupts him. He's like, I want, you know, to be in the Royal Rumble. And Adam's like, you got to earn it. He goes, I will earn it. Ah. So he sets up a match for tonight. The Judgment Day versus the Alpha Academy. This was fun. Judgment Day for the win. Dominic, if you saw, I love Rhea Ripley's reactions with Dominic. I love Mommy. And I love the whole, like, that. I don't know why, but I love this Dominic jailbird. I'm going to call him the Dominic jailbird. That's what he is. Jailbird Dominic. And I love when he said to the Usos earlier, was like, he goes, you know what we call the Usos in prison and whatnot? He's like, fake ass essays. And I was like, damn, Dominic, finally a little some prison has changed you, even though it was jail that you're in for a couple hours. But I like it. Big build for Judgment Day for next week's main event. They had a really nice Martin Luther King Jr. Day package. I love when they do this for holidays and stuff like that, especially when they fall on a holiday. They have such a great message and positivity and showing love for Martin Luther King Jr. That was just dope. I really liked it. Io Sky versus Michin or Mia Yim. I just feel like pick one or the other. You know, I like Michin. I'm down. I'm down for that name. Just quit saying Mia Yim. Because it's not confusing in any sort of manner. It's just one of those things it gets kind of irritating. You're like, pick one. Okay? Great match. I had a fun time. Michin brought out Candice LeRae with her just to have some backup. Because Dakota Kai was on the side. But Michin for the win. So that was fun. That was fun, and the fact that we're just building, man. We're just building to the Rumble. Bianca Belair returns, and this is another meats and potatoes of the show. I feel this feud. And after this, I just realized, like, you know, with Uncle Howdy showing up during this time, and, you know, Alexa comes out and they talk and they set up a match for the Royal Rumble for the Raw Women's Championship at the Royal Rumble. They will face each other in this feud that's been building. And Uncle Howdy distracted Bianca, and then I was like, oh yeah. Bray says everything basically will unfold at the Royal Rumble. Everything will come to the light out of the darkness. Everything will come out. And this is the big payoff and everything. And I think Alexa's taking that title off of Bianca Belair. So we shall see. It's going to be a good one, man. This Royal Rumble, I got some great feelings about it. Akira Tozawa versus Bronson Reed. When Bronson Reed came out, I was like, nope. I already know who's winning, Bronson Reed. But Akira took him to school, man. You know, I always forget how good Akira Tozawa really is, man, because he's always put in these, like, funny segments, you know, like when he was with Baron Corbin, like playing poker, or when he had that ninja outfit and all this and that. Like, the dude can wrestle, and I wish we could utilize him a little bit more, you know. Like, tonight, making Bronson look good. He made Bronson look good. Seth Rollins backstage, and I just love Seth interviews because, you know, he's just so, like, ha 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 ha, that laugh, like, they sing my song, you know, he has, I just love Seth Rollins. But here we are, the big main event, the 6-way elimination match for whoever wins will face Austin Theory at Raw is 30 next week, and I really thought Rollins was going to win this one. And I was like, and The Miz was just kind of in there. I was like, oh, Rollins, you know, and Ziggler, you know, Balor, Baron, you know, okay. Then I was like, wait, who's the sixth? You know, Bobby. And then I was like, who's the sixth? Miz. I was like, oh, Miz just being Miz and collecting that check and doing what he has to do because he's a workhorse as well. And they just told him, like, you're going to be in this match. All right, I'll be in this match. But Bobby Lashley wins. With Omos and MVP out there, still a little bit of, like, butting heads, I felt like. But I think that's the point, to when the Hurt Business actually comes together. And I feel like the Hurt Business will come together next week on Raw is 30 going into the Royal Rumble. So that faction is going to play big into the Royal Rumble. My kind of my theory. But Theory comes out, he's on the commentary, you know, bit of distraction. There's just some great spots out there, and with Omos, and one of my favorite spots was when Seth did the curb stomp to Omos because of Austin Theory, and I like what Rollins did. I like the fact that he got the assist. He's like, yeah, but instead of letting Theory walk off, he goes and hits Theory. He's like, fuck you, man. Thank you for helping me, but fuck you. You know, that was awesome. But big match next week. Bobby Lashley versus Austin Theory. And like I said last week, I'm getting kind of tired of, like, Rollins, Bobby, Theory, Rollins, Bobby, Theory, Bobby, Theory, Rollins. I'm like, okay, let's put an end to this. Let's build the Hurt Business back up and put business, you know, first. The Hurt Business, I mean, the next week, when I feel like Bobby is going to take that title off of Austin Theory, and we shall see what goes into the Royal Rumble, or we keep the title on Theory, keep building him, keep making him look strong, but still build the Hurt Business at the same time. So next week, Raw is 30. We know we're going to have legends come back. We're going to have backstage segments, so we're going to have some throwbacks, promos to things. You know, we're going to have a lot of fun next week on Raw is 30 in Philly. It's going to be a good time. I would give this Raw a solid 4 out of 5. You know, I was entertained. I came in. There was some stuff that I really like and some stuff that was kind of like, okay, sure. You know, but Royal Rumble season is upon us. All right, ladies and gentlemen, tell me what you think. Drop those comments below. Did you like it? Did you hate it? What? Just drop those comments and let me know. And after that, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. And remember, the New World Podcast is for life.
In the pen, you know what we called an Uso? We called them a wannabe essay. And the biggest wannabe is that street champion back there.